calls at the end of the show. I got to start getting to all these clips in this news. By the way, the clip goes on and Rahm Emanuel. We have the clip in the Obama deception, just one of the hundreds of things that's covered in the film. We told you they've sworn to introduce bills to where the Attorney General can ban anyone he wants without him being convicted from owning a firearm, and he can ban any firearms he wish, any or all. And he's argued for total gun ban against the American people. I'm not just saying that. I mean, this is on record. We've given you bill numbers. This is really happening. They really have bills to arrest you for your speech if, quote, it hurts someone's feelings. Finish up with Rahm Emanuel, which they've now introduced the bills to do it. But it's not Al-Qaeda. It's not, oh, well, we think this Muslim. It's okay to take a Muslim's rights, the media says. But, you know, they set the precedent, which is wrong. Now it's everybody. And most of the veterans I know can't buy guns anymore. In fact, if you're a vet, try to go out and buy one. Chances are they're going to go, sorry, FBI Nick says no, Bill. You're like, wonder why? They won't ever tell you. Just like the no-fly list. You're a slave now. If you don't like it, SWAT team will drop by. Let's go ahead and, because the bankers own us now, Bob, Bill, just hand them over, man. If we just do what the government says and become their slaves, everything will be all right. I mean, in Vermont, in Connecticut, in other states, Missouri, they get on the news and say, we're law enforcement making sure we want to keep this campaign focused the way we want. We're political officers. And if we decide what you're saying, we're keeping a close eye out on what you say on radio and TV. And if we don't like it, we're going to go ahead and arrest you. That's what the American way is all about. I mean, this is just tyranny on steroids, and it's happening. And again, YouTube channels everywhere with hundreds of thousands of views, big channels that separate people. I mean, I told folks about, and it's almost like I'm conditioned now to accept this. I talked to Nate Evans, his own channel since 2006, put a few of my videos on, the director's account. YouTube shut it down and didn't give him copyright violations. They just said, we're taking your account away. We're getting hundreds of emails from people that have the same thing happen on YouTube. And now Google announces they're ending the internet. They're ending video on their internet system. And they're phasing out the U and YouTube to mainline TV shows and movies. They've already moved most of the user videos off the main page. They're doing it. They've announced it. This is happening. Let's go ahead and play Rahm Emanuel. Grandpa, is it really true that...
not one far from liking...
Hold on, pause it. Back it up.
And policy, but
back it up. Grandpa, is it really true once we could own firearms? Yes, once we did, but don't let anybody hear. They'll arrest us. Hold on, a hover drone's flying over. Just face scanned us. I mean, this is tyranny. This is the norm everywhere else. It's happening here. Criminals have taken over. They own both parties. I keep repeating that. It's almost like a Mayday situation at this point. And both parties are controlled. The Republicans are standing down. It's all staged. Look, go ahead and play Rahm Emanuel. And now they've introduced the bill. And people say, oh, it will never pass. I'm getting emails going, I don't know if this is credible. Yeah, they introduced it, Alex, but it doesn't have much of a chance of passing. I mean, and they've introduced bills to arrest you if they don't like what you say, but it ain't going to pass. The point is they're trying it, and a lot of this stuff is passing. All right, go ahead and play Rahm Emanuel. Here it is.
One issue as a test vote and then take it into the election. That is, if you are on the no-fly list because you are known as maybe a possible terrorist, you cannot buy a handgun in America. And I am not one far from liking the mixing of politics and policy, but as my old boss used to say, give me that vote and throw me into that briar patch. I'll make politics out of that every day, because if it's between that terrorist list and the NRA, I know where America is going to be every time, and they're going to make the right choice, and we have got to start building on that. That is the right thing to take into the election, and it's the right policy. But if you're on that no-fly list, your access to the right to bear arms is canceled because you're not part of the American family. You don't deserve that right. There is no right for you if you're on that terrorist list.
All right, let's stop right there. Number one issue. Now, that says 700,000, and it was 1 million as of a year ago. 6 months ago, the number was 1,100,000. In fact, search engine for folks, no fly list reaches 1 million. He'll have articles from 2007 on that. So I say 1,100,000. It's way above that. And then they have 4 million plus names on a crime list that most of them aren't even convicted criminals. And they say no car loan, no house, no apartment, no job. But the illegals are all exempt from this. So I want to put that up on screen for folks. But this is all happening. What is the bill number to arrest you under felony charges if someone says you hurt their feelings online? This is H.R. 1966. It's also discriminatory. It's only for Internet people, not the mainstream media. H.R. 1966. What is the bill number to list everybody in the Homeland Security right-wing extremist report as terrorists so they can't own firearms? H.R. 2159. Okay, you can check that out. Again, the Defense Department, AP, and Heritage.org have both reported that there's been a gag order given to all commissioned officers that they are not allowed to even talk to members of Congress about the budget. Before, they would always call in brass and question them about what they thought the best weapon systems were and was the executive doing the right thing, because Congress, raises the money for that, and then they declare war and the president executes it. And they've been told you're not allowed to talk to Congress, just more of Congress being made to be ceremonial, dovetailing with the PDD 51 saying that Congress is basically defunct. So are the governors in the states under the John Warner Defense Authorization Act. Scientists experiment with vaccinations and GMO corn. This is out of the Meat and Poultry. This is a pro-meat and poultry industry publication. And they're already doing this. I saw this over a decade ago, but they're now announcing it to the slaves. It says Iowa State University researchers are putting flu vaccines in genetic makeup of corn, which may someday allow pigs and humans to get a flu vaccination simply by eating corn and corn products. You can Google pharmacological crops, pharmacological vaccine crops, and you'll read over a decade ago where they had live HIV in corn. That's been mixed in with the main corn crops. I'm not kidding. You can actually look it up if you'd like. And it's just all part of the freedom. All right. But hey, it doesn't matter. The cops are tough. They got weapons. They want ours. And, the cops say, well, we're pro-Second Amendment. Where are you? You speaking out against all this? No. You're strutting around telling me I don't have any First Amendment, and we've caught the cops in England and in Denver and in Canada and everywhere else staging riots against other cops to blame protesters. That's now been in the mainstream British news. The cops, like we told you, were dressed up like anarchists, attacking other cops, and then going through the police line. It was all staged so they could attack people. It was cops up there knocking the windows out because the government wants to demonize protesting and demonstrating. You understand? London Guardian, we told you about this 8 years ago. This is not new. It's already in dozens of U.S. airports that we know of, starting in Boston, Logan. But now they're introducing it to the slaves. Brain scanning may be used in security checks. Just like 10 years after they put in license plate reading software and all the major highway cameras, tracking everywhere you go and what you do, they're now announcing this to the slaves. After it's in place, brain scanning may be used in security checks. Distinctive brain patterns can become the latest subject of biometric scanning. At EU, researchers successfully tested technology to verify identities for security checks. And they now supposedly have your brainwave pattern, whether you're upset or not. This will be the new quackery. They sent hundreds of thousands to prison and many to death row with fake lie detector tests. And now and those have been disproven to be frauds. So now they just have another quack machine that, the CAT scan says you just lied when TSA asked you that question. It's all part of training you. You're a bad criminal. The government's God, and all part of you submitting to be a slave. You can't even go to the beach now in Texas without them asking you questions and license plate scanning cameras. And we put up videos of me at the ferry from Galveston to Bolivar, and people email me going, well, that's to stop the illegal aliens coming into America. That's the border. No, it's a U.S. to U.S. ferry, a quarter mile across, and they only search U.S. citizens on record. Illegal aliens are left alone, okay? Period. We're the slaves. We're the schmucks. I was searched 6 times going back and forth. I know. I watch what happened. It's all part of being a slave. YouTube free speech purge accelerates. InfoWarrior channel banned. A bunch of other channels banned. Nate Evans channel banned. No connection to us. Just ban. Anything with Alex Jones. Ban. They don't care if you know they're censoring. They want to send the message, you don't post Alex Jones. And if we give in to it, they win. God, these people make me sick.